before we crack into things, we got to thank Brian Hilton Toyota, who are up at Gosford on the Central Coast, for help lending us this car for the extended period that they have. They've pretty much given us the keys and said, go to town, have some fun and let us know what you think. So yeah, big thumbs up to Brian Hilton Toyota up at Gosford. Give them a call if you're looking for a Toyota or any other car that the Brian Hilton Group sell. Bit of a tow test of the brand new 300 series Landcruiser. So what we're going to do is we've got a Signature Iridium 15 hybrid camper trailer on the back of it. That camper itself weighs at the moment, with a bit of water and some jerry cans and gas bottles in it, sitting at about 2.5 tonne. The bull weight on it, where we want to try and keep about 10% of the bull weight of the total weight of the camper trailer, so that itself is sitting at about 240 to 250 kilos at the moment, which is a good amount of weight on the back of the car to test. We've also got a car full of people, so we've loaded the car up, we've got 4 people in it, so fair bit of weight involved. We've got GoPro facing on the dash, which is actually going to be watching our speed, our revs, but also our computer in terms of our average fuel economy. And we're going to take it for a bit of a test loop down to the freeway. It's not scientific results. We're just going to have a bit of fun, see how it performs compared to the 200. We know the 200 fairly well, considering we'd use it to tow all over everywhere. It goes absolutely everywhere. So yeah, as we get onto the road, we'll do a bit of main road driving, highway driving, and then some back streets all the way back to the workshop, and see how she performs. So keep an eye on this and we'll have some fun. So we've just rolled off Pennant Hills Road, which was a 40 zone and a 70 zone. We've just stopped on the side of the freeway in a legally parked, obviously, in a truck zone, truck parking, and we are about to take off. It goes straight into an 80 zone, which gives us a good test. So we're going to punch it straight up to 80 kilometers an hour, and then it'll roll into a 110. So here we go. She's moving, so you can hear and feel the 10-speed gearbox doing its thing. Remembering that there's 4 blokes in this car with a 2.5 tonne camper trailer on the back of it, and got up there pretty quickly and pretty smoothly. So the 10-speed gearbox in the car is clearly doing its thing. It's mated very well to the 6-cylinder diesel engine, which yeah, it's a smooth performer clearly. So we're going to roll along now, about 80 k's an hour. Then we'll lift up to about 100, and just when we roll into the 110 zone. Smooth as. So ahead of us is a pretty steep hill. It's got a good length on it. I don't know if you guys can see it or if the camera will actually get it, but what we're going to do is we're going to try and hold 100 k's an hour, see if she holds true up this hill. Hopefully the line of traffic doesn't get in our way, but yeah, the eyes on the speedo, and we'll see how she goes maintaining that speed. So it's going to punch down a couple of gears to hold it. We're in normal mode, we're not in sports mode or eco mode. And then we're just going to continue that drive. You can feel the torque, so it's got much higher, not much higher, it's got a bit more torque than the 200 series, but just a much better gearbox ultimately. So she holds, yeah, 2.5 tonne on the back and doesn't really miss a beat. The average fuel consumption's not really rising a huge amount. It's gone up a bit. I mean, it's, you know, probably using over 30 litres per 100, but the average isn't gone up yet. And we're at the top of the hill. That wasn't anywhere near full throttle. That was probably less than quarter throttle, just maintaining that speed. So points to the 300 for that. Yeah, no issues whatsoever. Cruising off the freeway now, so we're going to take this exit up onto the Old Pacific Highway, which is a bit more windy, a bit slower. You're only looking at, you know, between 60, 70 and 80 zones as we sort of cruise back towards the workshop. Again, we'll have a look at the fuel consumption figures. So cruising on the highway, it didn't really drop below about 17 litres per 100 k's. It's just dropped down. It's working off an average, so it needs a fair few kilometres to actually work that average out. But in terms of your braking, it's got massive brakes, so it's got no issues whatsoever pulling the big car up, and it's comfortable. It's a very comfortable tower. I mean, how is it in the back there, Sean?
It's good. Lots of leg room, air conditioning's good.
So we got to talk about the elephant in the room, the demise of the big V8. Obviously, you can still get it in a 70 series. This is running a twin turbo 3.3 litre V6 diesel. On the whole, you can tell it's a V6. It's definitely not a V8. Mated to the 10-speed automatic, I don't think it loses anything. The only thing you're losing is essentially the noise and the seat of the pants grunt of a V8. You can never replace that. You can never take that away. But there's no denying that this engine with the 10-speed gearbox is more refined. Yeah, it hasn't got the nice grumble, but it's a more refined engine overall.
You lost that grumble when you got the DPF models anyway.
You did. Yeah, DPF lost that grumble as it is. I don't know, the 200's got a bit of a... Our 200 has got a bit of a grumble. It's got a big exhaust.
Rob's on heaps louder.
Yes, a deep... Oh, well, let's... Right, we'll take it back. We'll take the DPF off. We'll cut the exhaust out, and we'll let you know how it goes. Rolling back into suburbia with the stop and start traffic of traffic lights, houses, and shops. So we're heading back into the 60k per hour zones. What I do like on the little screen is, even though this GXL doesn't have a heads-up display, on the little screen it gives you the speed limit, what it thinks the speed limit is. The average fuel consumption's it's going down a little bit, but it's evening out a little bit from that freeway run. Not far off the workshop, we've been watching the fuel consumption, and it's been sitting at about under 15 litres per 100 kilometres. That's off the Trip's average computer. How accurate that is, I couldn't tell you 100%, but not bad for a car that's got 4 blokes in it and is pulling 2.5 tonne. Yeah, can't complain with that at all. Finally, the test that nobody else is game to try.
And how shit the 200
and no other channel will dare attempt. We're now going to test the handbrake on a 300 series. So everybody knows handbrakes on Landcruisers are just basically non-existent. You're better off with a brick. So straight into neutral, electric handbrake on, foot off the brake. Look at that. It's holding. It's holding. That's 10 out of 10 for Toyota. They've brought us into the 21st century. Nice work, Toyota. Overall, she's a cracking car, but let's run through 5 hates and 5 likes about the brand new Toyota 300 series. First up, 5 things I hate about this car. There's no off switch for the headlights, which means if the car's on, this is the lowest you can have. And same with the tail lights, they're on as well. Simple things, but when you're out camping in the bush, being able to turn the headlights off so you can, I don't know, sneak up on people is an important factor. So come on, Toyota, that was a simple fix. Why didn't you do that? Just an off switch. If you're driving and you've got kids in the back, full family with you, and you've got your lollies and chips and all the good stuff in there, well, you can't secure it because the kids, they can still get into it. The fuel capacity's gone down. You've now got a 80 litre main tank and a 30 litre sub tank. That's 110 litres. That's down from over 120 litres in the last car. Granted, Toyota says this is a more economical engine, but you're still going to only get 700 to 800 kilometres out of this tank. Not enough in Australia. The Prado, with a smaller engine, smaller car, 150 litres. Madness. So this is the GXL trim, and there's 4 trims above it which solve this issue, granted. But even so, on a $110,000 car, I'd expect somewhere to put my signature camper trailers brochures. It's the little luxuries that are missing on this car, which will just get very annoying. Why aren't these LED? It would have cost Toyota nothing, and those little things make this car a whole lot better value for money. And this could be 5 pet hates in itself. Ever since the 60 series Toyota Land Cruiser through to the 80, the 100 and the 200 series, you've had a split tailgate. So unless you're only using the back of the Land Cruiser to throw your Gucci luggage in the back of it, or Louis Vuitton handbag, it really needs a split tailgate. The 4-wheel drive tech, especially on the GR Sport, is absolutely epic. So look at this. All the different settings: deep, snow, mud, sand, dirt, auto. And with the articulation of this car and the front and rear diff lockers available in the GR Sport, it's going to be literally unstoppable. I have to say, I really, really like this gearbox. The 10-speed, and it's an absolute cracker. Matched to this engine, you can't fault it. So thumbs up for Toyota on that one. New 300 series handbrake, little button there. This is the handbrake from a 200 series. Good work, Toyota. In the 200 series Sahara Horizon, they used a black headlighting, and I really like that. Well, they've followed it through, and I gotta say, it just makes it a nicer place to be. With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Toyota Landcruiser 300 series is finally in the 21st century. So we started this morning at sunrise on the top of a mountain in the bush, and we've travelled all the way through fair chunks of Sydney, done a stack of towing, and had a good look under the car to see how it would actually suit our ways and our means. So what's the summary of this car? Well, it's an evolution, not a revolution, in short. It's a great car, it performs well, it handles beautifully, and despite what some people might be fearing in terms of the loss of the V8, the V6 engine with the 10-speed gearbox performs beautifully. It's a great car, it's going to tow well, it's going to take plenty of people to some amazing locations. Ultimately though, am I going to swap my 200 series for a 300 series? Probably not at the moment. In the end, when the 200 series is due for an upgrade, then the 300 series will probably fill that place, but I'm not going to rush out and sell it just to grab one of these. It's a great car, but for me, it's got a bit of testing and a bit of time to tell whether the V6 is going to last. Overall, the underpinnings are strong, the car's great. I'll be very, very happy to drive one around, but the 200, it's still got that roaring V8. They've lost the tailgate. This is bloody uncomfortable, so I'm going to go and sit on the rocks and enjoy that view. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all the other jazz, and check out our other videos and upcoming car reviews. Thanks.